And that was probably one of the most rewarding things in my life generally, not just at UCFB. Some people maybe don't have natural belief in their own ability. So somehow, some way, you have to try and get it to them or give it to them.
Hello and welcome to UCFB. This is The Hot Seat. I am here with multimedia sports journalism lecturer Bob Ballard. How are you doing?
Very good. Good to talk to you.
Yes, absolute pleasure. First of all, I want to talk about when did you get into your specific area of expertise and why?
Right, we've got to go back quite a long way here. So I'll tell you what I wanted to do and what I ended up doing. So I wanted to be a Radio 1 DJ. That's what I wanted when I was younger. Big passion for music. We'll probably talk about that more later on.
Yeah.
But my ambition was to be a DJ. And I kind of did it. I went to hospital radio, worked in hospital radio for a while. But as years went by, I thought, I have a big interest in sport. Started to do a bit of sports commentary, doing commentary off the TV as people used to do in those days. And so eventually when I went into BBC local radio in the 1980s, I did a combination of doing music presentation and doing commentary, initially on ice hockey. Actually, it was the first sport I really commentated on a lot. Developed into other things like basketball and football and tennis and things like that. But my initial thing was to be a DJ, and that kind of morphed into being a football, ice hockey, basketball commentator.
Yeah, of course, you are a lecturer of multimedia sports journalism here at UCFB. What would you say the best experience that you've had in the industry so far?
As far as being at UCFB, I think it's seeing my first year through to their degrees, right? Because I don't think there's ever going to be anything more special for me than that first intake. I'm looking at them rather wide-eyed. They're looking back at me rather wide-eyed. I'm thinking, this is my first year of doing lecturing at UCFB. What do I expect? What do they expect of me? And I was very lucky. I had a really good first intake in my first year. And probably the most tearful I've ever been in recent times is watching my first years graduate when they got through to the level 6, and just seeing them all, knowing their story, knowing their backstory, knowing what I had to do with some of them to get them to that stage.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the most rewarding things in my life generally, not just at UCFB.
Wow.
Was getting through those students, some of whom were a bit, 50-50s, whether they get through to degree level or not, and they made it. Most of them made it. And seeing them come through with 2 1s and 1s and things like that first was great.
Yeah, no, I can imagine it just makes you feel so proud because obviously being a lecturer, you're there for 4 or 5 days a week, all the time, just seeing your students grow from first year to third year. How big of growth was there from people walking in on the first day, from that first group, to them leaving UCFB?
There's a big chasm. You see some people come in naturally good, right? You don't have to do too much work with students like that. All you need to do is nurture what they naturally have. Some people are slow learners, or they don't pick it up quite as quickly, but then they'll accelerate. Once they kind of know the infrastructure, know what academia is about, and the fact they can't just, do podcasts and there's other things to it. Those kind of people sometimes take a bit more. So if you want to put it in kind of percentage terms, there might be 10-15% who are natural gifted people who are going to be the high flyers anyway. They just need support. The ones in the middle are the ones who you get most out of, because you have to work maybe a little bit harder with some people. Some people maybe don't have natural belief in their own ability. So somehow, some way, you have to try and get it to them or give it to them as you go through. So I always find that kind of central tranche of students who probably need a little bit more assistance, a little bit more guidance on the way, far more rewarding from my point of view.
Yeah. Now looking at outside of UCFB, what is your biggest highlight, you would say, in the sports industry for yourself?
I think covering the 2012 Olympics and 2012 Paralympics. In fact, I've often said to people, 2012 Paralympics for me was even better than the 2012 Olympics, because obviously being in London, being a Londoner, it's a great experience to work on both. I worked on 2012 Olympics for the BBC, so I worked on the swimming for the radio and the diving for the TV. Then the Paralympics came along, and what was so great about it is the way that London and the country embraced Paralympic swimming as Paralympic sport right across the board. I'd been in Beijing 4 years before, And to be fair, the Chinese really didn't want it, but it was kind of part of the package. You've got to do the Olympics and you've got to do the Paralympics. There was no real infrastructure there. There was no real kind of warmth or people really wanting to push the boundaries. 2012 was completely the opposite of that. 2012 Paralympics was a breakthrough event in Paralympic sport, I think, and it probably will never be replicated again in that way. So working 2012 Olympics, Tom Daley's bronze medal, 17.5 million people watching me on TV. 17.5 million people.
What a number.
I think it was the fifth or sixth highest rated thing from the Olympics that year. Then a few weeks later, followed up with Ellie Simmonds' first ever gold in London, the first gold for the British aquatic team. And she broke a world record in doing so. But those kind of memories will live with me forever. And obviously there were big, massive national moments.
Yeah. We've mentioned a couple of sporting icons just there. Who is your sporting hero?
It's a difficult one because there's I say there's so many. There's not that many actually, because sports people come and go. Sports people do their mark. I mean, I would say somebody I never met, somebody I never actually saw in the flesh. Bobby Moore would be. I was a West Ham United fan. Iconic person, World Cup winner, of course, 1966. I'd say Bobby. Outside of that, somebody I met and interviewed a few times, Michael Phelps, the swimmer.
Wow.
Because, he's phenomenal. The amount of medals he won, the amount of gold medals he managed to win at the Olympics. He was a very, very special talent. Actually, a really nice man. We had arguments over the relative merits of rugby and American football. It's the kind of thing you do when you do interviews with people. But I'd say of people that are certainly still around, the current people, Michael Phelps.
Yeah. Also, going away from sport, what are your interests outside of the sporting world?
Well, I alluded to it earlier on, music.
Yeah.
I am a massive fan. I have more CDs than you can shake a stick at, or several sticks at, to be honest. In fact, CDs kind of eat me out of house and home. I'm rather obsessive when it comes to music. So, a big CD collection. I love my music. I do a music program for a radio station called 365 Radio every week. And if somebody gave me the direct choice of sport or music, I'd go music.
You go music
every time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Favorite musician?
I'd say the Beatles collectively. I'm a massive Beatles fan. I have all the Beatles albums and anything that is Beatles and anything Beatle related. And there's a Beatles shop on Baker Street you may know about. And whenever I pass it, I want to go and buy pretty much all the contents of that shop. But yeah, Beatles were a big influence growing up for me.
Yeah. One piece of advice that you could give to anyone who wants to go into the sporting industry?
Well, I think it's with the sporting industry, whether it's broadcast, whether it's multimedia sports journalism, is listen, right? You don't know it all. I don't know it all. I've been in the business for over 40 years. I don't know everything. You've got to listen to other people. You've got to take advice. You've got to be open to suggestions, right? And if somebody is saying something with the best of intentions, listen to it, because there's so many people who are very dogmatic. I have a conversation with people about when they do something, review it, watch it. If you're doing a commentary on radio or television, listen to it back, watch it back. You'll see so many flaws in there that will help you going forward so you can improve next time around. Don't come away thinking, oh, that was really, really good. Because I've done it several times where I come off air think it's really, really good. When I start to analyze it, I irritate myself because I'm going, why did you say that? Why did you repeat that? Why did you do that several times? So that's the whole point about that, is listen to other people and listen to yourself. If you're doing broadcasting, most definitely have a listen to what you've done, then analyze it and do an overall view of it.
Yeah, I think that's so important, as you said, listening to other people and listening to yourself, because nobody is perfect at the end of the day. You're only going to get better if you do listen to people with good advice, but then also taking that time for yourself, looking back, let's say if you are doing a podcast or something like that, if you are on camera, what are you doing in certain moments? Why are you, I don't know, like fidgeting or something like that? Like, it's little things, but
I'm never really aware of that.
It means the world of, no, but it means like, it can change it so much. It can take your performance in a certain aspect from here to all the way to up here. So yeah, I think that's a great bit of advice. And then also, top 3 tips to be a multimedia sports journalist.
Learn to write. A lot of people who want to do it actually don't have basic command of English, right? So learn about punctuation, learn about sentence construction. If I could make one observation about the students that we have here sometimes, is the first year when you came in last year and other students come in, learn to do sentences, right? Some people don't know when to put full stops in, and you're right. Say it out loud. Go and read that out loud. You'll have no breath left at the end of it. Learn to write. Do the basics. Remember your capital letters for your clubs, for your countries, for your names, things like that. Things that you might think, well, it's not really that important. It is in the grand scheme of things. So learn those kind of things. I'm going to kind of repeat what I said earlier on about reviewing what you do and looking over it. When you do an essay, when you do a blog, when you do whatever you do, go back through it. Don't just go, oh, great, I finished it, press a button and send it. Have a look back through it, because normally when you evaluate something, you'll pick up on something. Oh, I missed a bit there. Oh, I didn't put that in. Whatever, those kind of things. Very important that you do analyze the stuff you do. And again, just again repeating myself a little bit, is listen. If your lecturer's telling you something, or somebody that you have some respect with or for says something to you, listen to it. You may not always agree. You can go back and go, well, yeah, okay, I've looked at that and I don't necessarily agree. Fine, but take things on board, because that's the only way that you improve or progress.
Well, amazing. Thank you for coming on, Bob. Been an absolute pleasure. You can find all about Bob on our UCFB website and all of the courses on there as well.
The University Campus of Football Business offers an inspiring learning experience with unique university degrees focused on your chosen career in the football and sports industry. Come to UCFB and study an undergraduate or postgraduate degree in media and journalism, coaching and analysis, sports business and finance, plus much more at iconic sporting locations such as Wembley Stadium and Manchester. To kick off your career in sport and find out more about our courses, visit ucfb.ac.uk.